Hi, I'm Lyndsey Parker here at Licorice Pizza with Marilyn Hucek. We're here to celebrate the release of your debut full-length album, simply titled Marilyn, similar to Madonna or Cher. No last name needed, even though you do have a last name.
Right.
How are you doing today? And congratulations.
Thank you. I am so freaking happy. This is my first full debut album and my also first vinyl pressing.
Is that why you decided to celebrate here on record release day at the store?
Absolutely.
Did you press your vinyl here?
Yes.
Yay! Is it colored? Is it pink?
It's colored, of course.
What color?
It's like a transparent pink.
Yay!
Yeah, I want to have fun with it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're going to get along because not only do we have the pink thing, but we both have the polka dots thing going. I know you're into fashion.
And the bangs.
The bangs. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
The lips. It's a good situation we got going here. So I'm very excited to chat with you. I might want to talk fashion with you a little bit because I know you had before you got into music as a full-time thing, you had the Lunar Phase blog and you worked in corporate fashion. But I want to talk about when you took the plunge from being a fashion person. Obviously, fashion is all part of rock and roll, but you decided to do music as your full-time thing, which I think it was something you kind of always wanted to do and never really, I don't know the circumstances why you didn't pursue it earlier.
Honestly, I will say that I've always had a passion for music very early on, just influenced by my family, singing since I was really little. Always dreamt of being an artist, but it wasn't until 2020 when the pandemic happened. My dad, my late father, had been suffering from early-onset Alzheimer's for a very long time. Thank you. And he got COVID. And he was in the nursing home, and we weren't able to go visit him. We're just gonna go a little deep right now. We're a little personal and deep. And it was so tough and painful. I ended up writing a song in his name, and I felt compelled to release it into the world. And ever since then, I haven't looked back, and that's when I took that leap of faith. So now, more than ever, as an artist, I feel like I have this dual purpose of not only pursuing my dream as a musician, but also using my platform to raise Alzheimer's awareness.
Are you from a musical family? Was your father a musician or into music? I know the song Neil Young's on the album, which I definitely want to ask about, seems to be about how you were raised in a musical household.
Interestingly enough, my parents met through music. My mom was studying to be a musician. She is Chilean, and she was in Chile and studying to be a musician. My dad was a piano hobbyist. He actually was a scientist working for NASA. Yeah, very, very smart, but really enjoyed the arts, and they met in the piano room.
So when people say it's not rocket science, he's like, actually, I do know rocket science.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart guy.
Yeah, satellite science. He worked on the satellites that are still in space to this day.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, I guess we're going to go into some heavy stuff, but did your father, when you wrote, what was the first song you wrote for him in 2020? What was it called?
It's called Memories.
I don't know, I don't want to word this, did he have his faculties about him where he was able to hear it and realize it was a song about him? And did you play it for him?
Yeah, I did. I played it for him a lot. And music was always something that connected us through the disease. Yeah.
Because in the Neil Young song, there's a line that really kind of got to me where it's something like, you never knew I was a singer. You don't know I'm a singer. It's a sort of about, actually, I've read about how musical therapy can help people with dementia, or with Alzheimer's, or with other brain injuries or whatever, because music is I'm not a scientist, obviously, but music is something that lodges these memories, and that Harvest Moon was like an album for him. But that line, you never knew I was a singer.
Exactly. So he had early onset Alzheimer's, so he had battled it for several years. And at the time that I decided to take that leap of faith, I'm not sure if he knew. I can't be certain. But that's where that line came from, because with the disease, you end up losing your memory. And with Neil Young, like you were mentioning, it's a very heavy song, but it's about how he eventually forgot my name, but music, if I played him his favorite songs and his favorite artists, he'd come to life. And that's what always connected us, through the years.
What were some of the other songs or artists you would play for him besides Neil Young's Harvest Moon?
The Beatles.
Everyone loves.
The Beach Boys. That was always very fun and uplifting. The Eagles. He liked rock, like classic rock.
Is that what you grew up on, or did that influence what you do in your own career?
Yeah, I think my parents listened to a lot of different music. Like, I remember also listening to Bob Marley and Madonna and Cyndi Lauper and the Aces and Celine Dion, you know, like the list goes on. But I think just kind of pop music, really.
So when you decided to do music full time, I remember reading an interview with you where you were maybe wondering if you'd waited too long, especially now when everyone, you know, the pop stars are teenagers when they start. But I read that you had at one time auditioned for The Voice, which is a show I watch. And they did not. I don't know if you made it.
Oh my God!
Did they turn? They didn't turn for you.
Listen. This is so funny. Is that this was like years ago, and I auditioned when it was like I went to like a convention center and there was like thousands of people, and I like waited in line like all day, and it was not at a time where I felt I was like at my best artistic level. So I'm not surprised it didn't work out at that time.
So you didn't get to the show?
No. Which is kind of funny looking back at that bio. I'm kind of like, I wish that bio like was not on the internet.
I'm sorry to bring it up. I'm
like, I gotta scratch that bio.
No, there's no shame. I love shows like The Voice and American Idol, but it's actually also crazy about how people who are really famous, like I mean, Mickey Guyton and, you know, Amber Riley, crazy names. Like, there's so many people who've been rejected from those shows who never even made it to air. So there's no shame in it. I'm sorry I brought it up, but I wanted to hear about this experience because I feel like that was
I didn't even get on the show. It was like literally just an audition, but it was like, I kind of felt like I was a closeted artist, so to speak. Like, I never would sing in front of people. Like, there was a time where I stopped singing in front of people because I think I was taking it too seriously. And it wasn't until around the pandemic when I started writing my own music that I felt more confident in my artistic self. And that's when I started releasing music and really going after it. But before that, it was like a lot more just like singing covers. And it wasn't until I started writing my own music and releasing it that I felt like falling into my shoes as an artist.
See, I think what I'd read was that when that didn't happen, when you didn't get on The Voice, that you sort of put any musical dreams you had to the side, thinking like, well, guess this isn't for me. I guess I'll do something else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was kind of funny because I was like, oh, this is how you like make it. You have to audition for The Voice and you have to like get on the show.
Auditioning for The Voice when who for The Voice is, I don't mean no shade to The Voice, but
yeah,
that's not the case. You know,
and so like it's really not the case anymore. But that's how I felt. I was like, oh, this is the only way to do it. And then I was like, okay, well, I auditioned for The Voice, so I can put my dreams to rest and move on. But the truth is that I could never move on, and that it was always in me. And it was like I had locked my dream in this like Pandora's box or whatever, and just tucked it away, right? And it was always in there, like beating, trying to get out. But you're like, stay put. You know what I mean? You know, like the Harry Potter movie, that like monster book that like wants to like break free. That's what it's like. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I've not actually seen any.
Like, if you go to Harry Potter,
I'm just nodding like I actually know what you're talking about.
Okay, if you go to Harry Potter,
people are gonna come for me. I've never read any Harry Potter or seen any Harry Potter stuff.
It's like it's the book that they would use.
My sister and her kids have.
I think like the dark arts book.
I understand what you meant. I understand what you meant. I understood what you meant. Even
yeah.
I was totally like, yeah, totally.
But it just wants to break free.
You're good at storytelling, so you painted a picture that I understood. Because that's the thing, is you're a storyteller, and that's why singing covers didn't like that. That wasn't something that brought out your artistry for you.
I also think that singing covers, you kind of compare yourself to other artists, right? Whereas you're like, oh, I'm never going to sound like them. Well, of course you're never going to sound like them because you have your own voice and your own unique ability to just be yourself, is what I learned.
So the opening track, very optimistic track, even though we are talking about some heavier, some sad things, is I Made It. It says, hey, Mom, I made it, which is, I guess, is that how you feel now that you finally put out this full-length record? It's not your first record, but it's your first full-length record, and you're doing what you want to do. Do you feel like you've made it? Like, what does making it mean to you?
When I was writing that song, I was asking that question, like, what does it mean to make it to you, right? And I think that a lot of people think, okay, I have to reach this certain goal. to make it. Like I have to, whatever that arbitrary goal is. But then I've decided to redefine it for myself, because if not, you're always kind of reaching for something and you're not satisfied. But I made it, I think, is more about just doing it. Like having a dream and doing it and waking up every day, and about the journey rather than a certain destination. So I think if you're following your dream, which is really hard, a lot of people don't do that. I'm so grateful that every day I get to wake up and do what I love. That's making it for me.
And you spent some time in Nashville, right? Where storytelling, I mean, that's a songwriter's town. And I don't know if apprenticed or studied is the word, but you went there, and you also went to some academy as well that was created by the Stargate producers. Can you tell me about a little bit of your the studying you've been doing in your craft?
Yeah, so I actually went to kind of even before that, I did the NYU Summer Songwriting program. I did New Roots Nashville, which was a female artist development program that took me to Nashville. And then I did LAMP, Los Angeles Academy for Artists and Music Production, which is a 9-month program co-founded by Stargate and executive directed by Chris Anacute, who like helped launch Katy Perry and Rihanna. And so it was an incredible opportunity to really hone my craft. And I've been kind of on this pursuit. And I don't think I'll ever not continue to hone my craft. I'm kind of the type of person who always wants to get better and always wants to learn.
So what would be your next goal, I guess?
Well, I think in 2026, I'm ready for my next project, my next era. So new music to come then, and performing more. And yeah, we gotta keep a little mystery.
When you were, like I said, you were successful as a fashion blogger. Your blog, I don't think, is up anymore.
Oh my God, it's sad. I know.
Lunar Phase. I looked for it and it was gone.
You did your research.
It was a domain. It was a domain for sale.
I really commend you.
Okay.
So I stopped paying for the domain. Can you believe it? It was like the thing is, after I started doing music, I dropped off on the blog. And it was sort of just existing without me contributing to it. And I just like kept on paying for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not contributing to the blog anymore. And so now it's just gone.
Is it on the Wayback Machine? Can we find it I'll look for it on the Wayback Machine. But you had this fashion blogging career, and you were working I believe in New York, doing fashion. I don't know who you worked for, but it seemed like you had a pretty solid career there. So when you decided to do music, was there any self-doubt or other people around you going like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
music is not the most stable career in the world, obviously.
Interestingly enough, no one that I spoke to questioned it, which is funny. But no, I didn't have any self-doubts. I think that's how I knew it was the right thing to do, because as soon as I started pursuing music, it felt like I found that last piece of the puzzle, and I was like, yes, like I found my purpose. I think that when I was working in the corporate fashion industry, I was searching and I didn't know for what.
How does your fashion sense or your fashion experience, I mean, like I said, rock and roll is about fashion. Like, how does that factor into what you do? Obviously, there's stuff like presentation, photo shoots, what you look like on stage, your music videos, which I think you direct, or you've directed some of them. Like, how does your fashion experience tie into what you do now?
I love fashion, and I'd say that I'm like my own stylist in a way. And I take a lot of joy in like figuring out what I'm wearing. And at LAMP, we had a final showcase, and it was really exciting because I partnered with this one designer. Her name is Love Melody, who has done these like vintage patchwork Levi designs, and she's dressed Cher and other incredible artists. And so she collaborated with me to have me dress up in one of her pieces, and that was like the cherry on top of the performance. But I take a lot of joy and pleasure in like planning my looks, for sure.
As do I. Who are your favorite designers besides the one you just mentioned?
Oh, that's kind of a hard one. I mean, I used to work for Ralph Lauren, so I really love their timeless style. And I'd say that they were up there. It was kind of a dream company to work for. But nowadays, I really enjoy like thrifting and vintage shopping, to be honest.
Yeah, and Depop, Poshmark.
Yeah.
All of those. That was what I did during the pandemic, is I bought a bunch of stuff on Depop and then had a note on my phone, things to wear after pandemic. I bought all this stuff and I had nowhere to wear it. And then, including this bracelet I have on. So that's how I
Right. Eventually, right? I've got some of those too.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite like style icons like in music, I guess?
Oh, in music, I really enjoy Haim. I really enjoy their outfits. And
From the Valley.
yeah.
One of them starred in Licorice Pizza, the movie.
Yeah. I saw that movie. It was fun. And Suki Waterhouse, I think, has really cool style. So I'd say those two so far. I mean, yeah.
So obviously I mentioned you direct. Do you direct all your videos? You directed some of them, right?
Not all, yeah, some.
And do you produce your own stuff because you went to the school? Like, I guess how much of
I actually don't produce. I always partner with producers.
How much of a one-woman shop are you? Because you're indie and doing your own thing.
I definitely collaborate with people because there's it takes a village. It really does. And I feel like I'm trying to hone in on my strengths and like I can't do it all is what you learn and is what I've learned. And so if I can give someone else the opportunity or like collaborate and team up with someone who has those strengths, I think it just makes it better, the outcome. And
then going back to some of the stuff we talked about at the top of this interview about your father and stuff, you talked about wanting to raise awareness for Alzheimer and especially early onset. Are there any charities or organizations you work with or want to just advocate for?
The Alzheimer's Association I work closely with. In fact, $3 for every vinyl, for every record sold is going to the Alzheimer's Association, and 5% of the royalties for my song Neil Young are going towards the Alzheimer's Association. And I hope to make a bigger impact as I grow.
I imagine, this is something that sadly a lot of children, adult children had to go through. I imagine you've had lots of people reach out to you with stories about how your music has helped them or they relate to your story. Do you have any stories like that you'd like to share about how your music has touched people who've been through a similar thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people DM me or tell me after shows, like they have a loved one, someone in their family who's gone through Alzheimer's. They'll tell me that music has connected them. And it's touching. And it's sad to know that, other people are going through it, but it's the reality that I just think the more we can talk about it, the more we can make a difference and heal and educate people on Alzheimer's.
Absolutely. And what did you, in making this album, Marilyn, how did it help you heal? How was it therapeutic for you? I guess that's the last serious question I'll ask.
Well, songwriting is like my therapy, like through and through. And
it's always been that way?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Even growing up, like I would just like do poems and stuff whenever I was in my feels. But I think that it's been very, very healing, especially with this album because it's so personal and so introspective that it's gotten me through a lot of like my adversity and emotional roller coaster of a ride.
Are there any other songs besides I mentioned I Made It? I mentioned Neil Young before I let you go, so you could play out here and play some of these songs today in your fabulous polka dotted outfit and red shoes. Is this all thrifted, by the way?
Oh, not all of it. Okay. No,
it's a good look.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
Are there any other songs that are especially meaningful or that you were very vulnerable in that you'd like to mention before I let you go?
Yeah, I would say one of the toughest songs to write was "Love to Hate You" because it revealed the messier sides of me and like the character traits that you don't really want to brag about. And so the comforting thing about that song is that now people are like, oh, that's my favorite song. Like, it's really relatable. And I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. I'm just like,
were you like double second guessing putting it out?
No, because I wrote that song when I was at LAMP and I got a lot of great feedback. So it was very encouraging. But during the week that I was writing it, it was torturous because I was like really like just digging into my soul and just trying to really get at the heart of my feelings. And now that I've gotten it into a song, when I'm singing it and performing it, I feel like I'm healing from that experience, which has been great.
So when you sing a song like that or Neil Young, I don't know what songs you're going to play out there, but particularly in an intimate setting, acoustic like this, is it hard for you that's a very naked situation, so to speak?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I think I recently was performing at the Annapolis Songwriters Festival and it was like broad daylight and I had all these like faces looking at me. And in the past, I'd say I haven't had an issue, but I think it's really day to day or show to show because I remember in that moment, I was like, oh my God, all these faces. And I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second. So who knows?
Dim the lights out.
Yeah. Who knows? Like, I think it's day to day, but usually I try to just do the songs justice and really like perform them so that people can experience them how I want them to, but sometimes it's unpredictable.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And that's, that is relatable. I think the more vulnerable you are, the more people will appreciate it. We appreciate you here at Licorice Pizza, and we appreciate you pressing the pink vinyl for us. So everybody get it, especially, once again, it goes to a great cause if people buy it.
Yep. Alzheimer's Association.
And I look forward to seeing you get vulnerable out there, I guess.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.